Hey Collective and Soul Tribe, happy Monday. Today is Monday, April the 6th. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day so far. I already did a first video for tarot messages, so, whenever you guys see that, that is already posted because obviously I'll be busy posting my videos. But right now, the time is 10:06 a.m. And I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend as well for those who celebrated their long weekend or Easter. But, again, if you do have family, I hope you guys had a safe, wonderful Easter where you guys got together, you guys had a good time. Even if you don't have family and you don't celebrate Easter, I hope you guys were still able to take some time away for yourself and, unwind and basically get your thoughts and your energy back together so that you guys are ready for this week, right? Basically, you guys can power through this week with positive energy, basically, right? But yeah, let's see what you guys might need to know for today. All right. Now, we are trying to figure out, when it comes to your journey, what messages you guys could be needing to know. Now, I know these messages do come out daily, but sometimes they do change because tarot messages and oracle messages are just forecast, right? It may not resonate for everybody. Sometimes it does. Sometimes, it depends on the situation. And a lot of times we don't force what does not fit. So say, for example, it's a love reading and you're not in a relationship. It's like you'll have people that will comment and say, like, this video is not for me. And it's like, okay, cool, right? It's like you don't want to waste your energy too. And a lot of people don't understand that. It's like when you comment on things that don't resonate with you, especially if it's not for you, that's basically you wasting and sharing energy unnecessarily, right? Like a lot of people don't know when it means to share energy, so being careful about that could be very significant. Okay, but first card is inner child. Now, not sure who this may resonate with, but there could be certain things that you guys are still healing when it comes to your inner child, even when it comes to like inner child trauma or just things that you've dealt with as a kid. Maybe this could be trauma, this could be wounds, this could be even growing up really quickly, okay? Some of you may have had situations where you had to be the parent. In your dynamic, things could have happened, right? And a lot of times when it comes to that energy too, parents don't realize that if you are somebody like, because this may resonate for some people that are a little older. So I want to say people that are like in their late 20s, 30s, okay, and older than that. There's something about that energy where maybe you grew up in a time frame where it doesn't matter what had happened, okay? Like everybody goes through something. So nobody's struggle is any worse than anybody's. We all have to have grace and have perspective. But there's this understanding as well where some of you guys could have grew up by yourself. Okay, you had to be your own adult. You had to teach yourself certain things, especially when it comes to being mature, emotional intelligence. Okay, things like that, that you even went through certain situations by yourself. Okay, you handled a lot of things by yourself where you felt like either both parents should have been aware or around, or they should have had like at least one parent should have knew. And a lot of you guys could have went through a lot of things alone, or you guys handled these things alone, where it's like you had to learn to, if you had no one to speak to, basically you had to learn to talk to your higher self. Okay, and that was also a way where you were able to communicate with your highest self, but in a sense where you were still receiving downloads. 1010 on the time as well. This could be also you completing a cycle, but that is significant where maybe you were young, but you were old as well. Like you had an old soul. And so because you guys had to grow up really young or really fast, or just learn a lot of things that you shouldn't have had to learn at a young age, like some of you guys, you should have been a kid. Okay, you should have been, doing certain things that other kids were doing. So even if you were a kid at one point playing, going to the park, doing things like that, there's something about that changing and your life, changing after that. But even if your life changed and you went through these dynamics and things like that matter, you still held on to your inner child regardless. Like even if you felt like you still went through a lot of things and these things may have hurt you, they could have traumatized you. They could have done a lot to your psyche, right? You're still learning to understand that regardless of what you've went through or what you had to learn or understand or accept, you are still going through that situation with acknowledging the fact that as much as you were young, you were mature, you were still mature than half of the people that were around you that pretended that they were more mature than you. Confirmation with the horn. A lot of confirmations with the horn. And that is something that could be bothersome because now there could be situations where even if these parents are still around, there's something about them trying to hold space, and it's almost like you guys grew up out of that energy. You still have your inner child, but you're also an adult and you're also aware that I don't need that anymore. You know, I already gave that to myself. So that could be significant too, okay, with certain people that are around you, 555 on the timer too, where people could feel very very outcasted by you because you're so mature for your age, or you're just so aware. Okay, yeah, you mirror other people. You're very aware that you can go within and reflect a lot of things, and you can see things for what it is and you can accept it, but you never changed how you treated people regardless of what you've dealt with and what you went through. It's like you still tried to give people grace and understanding, but it's almost like as you got older, you may have realized that people were still looking at you like you were still a child, okay? Even though you were handling a lot of responsibilities that maybe your parents were not dealing with at their time, okay? Because let's be real, a lot of our parents' generations, they were having kids, okay? Having kids, you know, having a home, things of that matter, but it was a different time for them where things were a little bit different. They could quit a job, okay, and go to another job easily without having to worry about, you know, references and things of that matter. And God forbid you work at a job and you quit and you need a reference and these people are petty, shady, you know, things of that matter, right? These people can stop you from getting a job. Like, I don't think people realize that things happen like that out there to people. Not because they're manifesting it, but there are people out there that are evil and will try to make things harder for people. So, even when it comes to your inner child, there's something about that. Like, you are aware, you try to make things more easy for people, things more comfortable. And it's like people still try to treat you like a kid because they see you as your inner child more than they see you as an adult. Even though you are an adult, you're very aware, but it's almost like you would rather tap into your inner child and be in la la land than to be miserable and old and mad. You know what I mean? In that sense, it's like, why would I want to be around energies where it almost feels like it's the same cycle over and over again? You're trying to move away from that. So you mirror a lot of things that people don't heal as well when it comes to their own inner child because of the way that you reflect yourself towards people. Okay, there's something about you receiving when it comes to like your integrity. So yeah, there's something about you being in balance when it comes to your integrity. You balancing out yourself when it comes to like, you know, what matters to you, your morals, your ideations, things like that, like what matters to you. So if other people want to tolerate, you know, bad behavior or negative energy or just things that you know well, okay, that you wouldn't do, but lo and behold, let it be you if you do it, you wouldn't hear the end of it, right? But let it be somebody else. That is also significant. Another example too is, you know, that one family member for some of you guys, like whether that family member, you know, everybody has that one person, whether that person is always going to jail, okay, or that one person is always, you know, dropping out of school. Basically, that one family member that always does the most, right? And you have everybody flocking to that person, like, oh my gosh, you know, let me help them. Let me be there for them. Let me show them that we love them. But lo and behold, let it be the collective who works really hard, who has ambition, who strives for success, okay? Things of that matter. Let it be you, okay? And let you ask for help for like once in your life, right? And the response that you get is the reason why you don't ask people for help anymore. It's like you may get responses from people like, oh, but you work, so why are you asking for help? Or, you have a good paying job. A lot of people assume that because you go to your job 9 to 5, they think that you're making like thousands and thousands of dollars, when really you're literally either working to make it alive, or you're just basically working and making it paycheck to paycheck. Okay, living paycheck to paycheck. For some people, you don't even have a job. Okay, and you have people just watching you, assuming that because you show up for yourself in a very high vibration and frequency, people assume that you have more than you do, even though you don't act like you do. You're very humble, but because the way that you show up, like, I'm sorry that you like to bathe, okay, every day, and you like to make sure that you have clean clothes on, whether you have a lot of money or not, right? It's just your integrity and how you show up. Yeah, something is unfolding for some of you. So whatever it is that you guys are receiving, it's because of your integrity. There's something that's unfolding. Okay, this could be coming in your energy unexpected, but there is something about colors as well. Okay, maybe you being very colorful, that could be significant too. It's like those who have a very colorful personality or colorful energy, you could be the person that you don't care. It's like you could be love and light, but that doesn't change the fact that you're not going to tell people like it is, what it is, right? Whether people think that you don't care. Like, people can say whatever they want about you. You don't care because you truly know who you are authentically. Remember, some of you guys had to grow up on your own by yourself. So you know yourself, okay? You know yourself very well. You don't need anybody's, opinions, or you don't need anybody's, authority to tell you what to do. You live your life authentically the way that you feel fits for you. And that is the problem that a lot of people are having, is that a lot of people are not looking at their chart, or even if they don't even know what their chart is, a lot of people are not going within their own selves and saying, what do I like and what do I not like? Instead, everybody's more focused on what that person's doing or what this person's doing, or, what did they do in their life, and this and this and this, while the collective is literally focusing on themselves. It's not that you don't watch the news. It's not that you're not aware. You're aware. But why waste your energy as well on things that you know that is going to be the same cycle? It's going to take a lot more people for things to change. So it's almost like, why beat a dead horse at this point? It's like, you will do your part, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, you're not going to overexert yourself to the point where now you're burnt out because now you're worried about other people, when really you're just trying to worry about yourself because you're done doing that. It's like it could have been years and years and years that you guys were doing a lot of things for other people while still trying to grow up within yourself. It's like a lot of people don't realize how hard that is. You being your own inner child while growing up being an adult and still trying to figure out the world, while you have other adults trying to tell you how to live your life, but at the same time, you already figured out how to live your life because you grew up by yourself majority of the time. So either your parents worked all the time, or your parents were hardly home, okay? Or there's something about being with grandparents as well a lot of times. Like, a lot of you guys, when it comes to growing up, not everybody is fortunate enough to be actually raised. And when I say raised by their parents, I mean like both. Not one parent going off to do this and one parent focusing. No, I mean both, right? And sometimes when you are, taken care of by both parents, sometimes the dynamic does not come out the way that you expect it to. There's still trauma behind that sometimes. So it's almost like understanding that whatever you guys are dealing with, the fact that you still had integrity throughout all those situations that you dealt with, it could have changed you, it could have broken you, it could have done a lot of things to you. You're still unfolding. There are things unfolding. It's like you can see when people are trying to do things, like I said, to, cause a rise out of you. You're aware and you're no longer allowing that. You're just laughing at the situation and just looking at people like, you know what? you're just whatever at this point. Like, you're just laughing and looking at people because, like I said, you see through people. You're a mirror and you see through people's nonsense. Okay, wisdom. You have a lot of wisdom. You hold a lot of wisdom. It's almost like also for some of you, like, even when it comes to world energy, you hold a lot of information when it comes to the world and what happens around the world. Even if it's not recently, it's just in general, growing up. Like I said, you can see through people. It doesn't matter what walk of life they're from. And also, even people who have a smile on their face, like that facade, like, hee hee, I'm a good person. You can trust me. Those are the same people sometimes that you guys are picking up negative energy as well from. And that could also be triggering because they know their intentions and you are aware of their intentions. And because they are somebody who's used to getting away with a lot of, crap, okay, by doing it to other people, they bump into you and they realize, oh, you may look innocent, but you're not, right? And you don't even pretend to be either. You just allow people to assume and play into that facade. Like, okay, you assume that I'm innocent. Okay, fine. Let's see how far you're going to go because you assume that I'm innocent or childlike and that I don't know what I know. But you're very aware and you're watching this individual or these groups of people. They're the ones that are not aware. And that is the problem when it comes to dealing with people. It doesn't matter what age, it doesn't matter what culture, it doesn't matter where you go. Having discernment saves a lot of time and energy from being wasted on people, places, and things. Okay, so yeah, Spirit is saying to keep going. Okay, when it comes to your energy. Also, when it comes to rest, that is also significant. There's something about maybe going within, resting, taking some time away, taking some time apart. But even when it comes to going within, it's like you know when to be around individuals and you know when to give things a rest. Like, you can look at situations and say, yeah, I'm over this. I'm done with this. I'm giving it a rest. I'm done. Either resting is significant, like this weekend that passed, or there's something about just putting everything to rest where you're like, I'm done with people who feel like they think that they're doing what they're doing, right? But they think that they're getting away with it. Like, you're just giving it a rest because you've accepted that you will always change, you will always grow, you will always find little things to fix when it comes to yourself. But dealing with other people, you may also see that they will never learn, right? They will never learn from their mistakes. They will never learn from the situations that they deal with. Even when it comes to like receiving karma, it's like if something happens to you, you know right away, like, oh shoot, maybe this is karma for something that I did. And you stop right away. There are literally people out there that will continuously do things to people on purpose or think that they're getting away with it or thinking that they're being spiteful or petty or whatever. Like, they just basically think that they're getting away. And the universe will show them like, okay, cool. You think this is cute. I don't think it is. Collective may not say or do a lot to you, but I will. And that's the energy people don't realize is that karma works in mysterious ways. Yeah. For some of you guys, like I said, you guys gave certain things a rest. You are in this playful energy, all right? Leo energy could resonate for somebody as well, but you are playful, right? You are following joy. You are following your inner child. You are following things that make you happy. You don't care what other people think about you. Yeah, you're following your beacon. You're following what makes you happy. You're doing what makes you happy. So if that means you get up and do a certain schedule a certain way, it's almost like other people will try to follow that and copy you. And you're aware about this. Like, you are aware what people say and do, right? And this is why a lot of times you're just looking at situations like, oh my gosh, like people are so petty and annoying. Like, that's how you look at certain situations because your integrity, you have a lot of integrity. Like I said, you see things and that is what bothers people. Like, people who want you to be low vibrational like them, it is triggering to them because You healed your inner child. You see things that people don't want you to see. You mirror people in a way that is very triggering. So if somebody thinks that, they can walk all over you and you're like, oh, okay, I'm just going to let you treat me however you want to treat me without there being any repercussions. No, you're not the person to do that with. You're the person that says, okay, I'm going to observe. I'm going to watch you. I'm going to let you continue to do the things that you're doing. I'm going to pretend that I don't, see this. So I'm going to let you think I'm not aware. And then there's just one day that you're like, you know what? The claws they close, because then you realize, look, I'm going to stop you right here and right now. Enough is enough. And it's almost like you shock people, because it's like you allow things to go on for days, weeks, months, even years. Like some of you guys are collecting data and information for years about a particular individual, because while you were minding your business and trying to be supportive in a connection or community, it did not turn out the way that it was supposed to because of other people's opinions, their greed, their pride, whatever that is, because you're playful. So even if people think that you're not taking life seriously as well, you are. But it's almost like, why are people so threatened by you being in your childlike inner child energy and still getting crap done? Well, if it works for you, it works for you. Why does it matter? Right? If somebody wants to be a drill sergeant and live their life as a drill sergeant, then be that way. Be strict. That's your life. But if you find flow in life by drawing and coloring and playing music and, doing readings or just reading books, whatever it is that you do, going for walks, doing things like that, that is you, right? And you still get things done. It's almost like people don't see what you do behind the scenes. And that could be also triggering. Like, you could look like someone who's not doing anything, but really you have so many certificates behind your name. You have so many years of experience behind your name, things like that. So again, you're very humble because you're not walking around like, look what I have, look at my car, look at my home, look at my new clothes, look at this. Because you're not being braggadocious about the things that you have, that is why a lot of times you guys still get things. You get blessings because you guys are humble. Are there times where you can say to people, yeah, look at my credentials? You can. Look at the things that you've accomplished. Look at the things that you've done. You can. Nothing is wrong with that, right? And people who don't know you too may look at you and think you're being cocky and egotistical, because it maybe took you how many years to finally build that, courage and be connected to yourself in that sense. Now you have somebody looking up at you saying, oh, look at this person. Who do they think they are, right? Because you find confidence in yourself. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. It's one thing to be cocky and it's one thing to be confident. There's a difference. And if somebody thinks that you being confident and trying to get through life with confidence and ambition is you being cocky, then I'm so sorry for that person, because that means they haven't done the inner work either. That is a wound that they have to heal within themselves when it comes to being courageous. It's like you show up as someone who doesn't care or give a damn what anybody thinks or says about you, because you, like I said, you know who you are authentically. You are always connected to your higher self. Okay? And another thing too, those same people who are, talking down on you and saying a lot of things about you, where were they when you were by yourself doing a lot of things on your own, whether you were struggling or just trying to get by? But where were they? Okay? A lot of times they were using money and material to try to get close to the collective, and you didn't care about that. All you cared about was emotional intelligence. How do you feel about this, and why do you feel about that? That's how you are. Not about what you have, what you drive, what money you think you have. Like, because the way that you grew up or how you show up, that is how people like to project a lot of things onto you. So even just being someone who's wealthy too, that is also significant. Like, you could have been wealthy and lived a wealthy lifestyle, and you could have people judging you for that too. Like, you could be someone who is well off, but you still have a kind heart. You're giving, you give to charity. Like, you don't hoard your money. And you could still have people looking at you like, oh, who do you think you are? You think you're all that? and you're somebody who's very giving. So that is why it's not good to judge a book by its cover. But unfortunately, with you guys, a lot of people judge. And no matter if they judge, you still show up as courageous. Okay? Lighting that spark underneath people, showing and shining that light, courage, being connected, introspection, being somebody who can go within themselves, right? Things of that matter. You being curious every single day, whether this is learning about yourself, learning about something new. You are somebody who's always open to new opportunities, new things. Okay, that is why you have the key to unlock a lot of things, because you're not ignorant. You're very open. And we need more people like that, okay? Not somebody who goes through something and then because somebody who did it, now they're blaming one race of people. You know what I mean? Like that ignorance. Like I don't like people like that, and I stay away from people like that, right? So, it's one thing to be able to joke around and say things to people because those are your close friends and family that you know, but also having awareness when to say things at what time and what place, right? So, like I said, not blaming one person for something and then blaming a whole group, a community, or, culture or something. Having awareness and understanding that that individual is just who they are. So, like I said, not judging a book by its cover, being curious, being open, okay, the process, moving forward, okay, listening to your higher self, your inner child, okay, like I said, money is also significant too, right? So, take what resonates with that. But anyways, I'm going to end it here, guys. Like I said, take what resonates, and I hope you guys, enjoyed the message or the video behind this. But again, thank you guys for the support, the love that you guys give and share. I appreciate that as well. Follow me on YouTube and TikTok, and my website is www.mysteriouslyunique.ca, where you guys can book a reading or just check out my blog, all right? But anyways, if you guys have any questions, I also have my information below. You guys can send an email if you guys have any questions or, anything that you would like to, understand when it comes to booking a reading and things like that. But if not, I appreciate the love from all of you guys. And yeah, I'll see you next time. All right, guys. Bye, guys.